day, I bumped into an old family friend at a coffee shop. She did a double take before asking if I was Emily. Apparently, my new look and energy threw her off. When she mentioned my parents, I simply said, I don't have contact with them anymore, and left it at that. The confusion on her face was priceless. That encounter solidified my resolve. I had erased them from my life, and there was no turning back. If they didn't exist to me, I didn't exist to me. I didn't exist to them either. For the first time in my life, I was fully in control of my story. Update 3. Not long after my name change and social media purge, my parents decided to take things public. I wasn't connected to them anymore, but mutual acquaintances began forwarding me screenshots of a post my mom made on Facebook. It was a long, dramatic rant about how their youngest daughter had abandoned the family without reason. She described herself as heartbroken, painting a picture of loving parents who were left in the dark about why their child had cut them off. The post was littered with vague phrases like we did everything we could and you never stop loving your child, even when I hurt you. The comment section was a mixed bag. Some people blindly sided with them, offering sympathy and calling me selfish. Others, mostly those who had seen glimpses of their behavior, asked questions that my parents didn't answer. A few even called them out, saying things like, but didn't you skip her graduation? Or wasn't she always left out at family events? At first, I ignored it, but then things escalated. They started reaching out to mutual friends, trying to organize an intervention. I learned about it through Julia, who had received a message from one of my aunts. The plan was to gather family and close friends at my parents' house to talk some sense into me. Julia shut that down immediately, telling them I wouldn't attend. When the intervention didn't happen, my parents tried to guilt trip me through another family friend, who sent a message asking, why are you punishing them like this? Don't you think they deserve to know what they did wrong? Around this time, my brothers joined the drama. Jason shared an old story about how I had thrown a tantrum as a kid when I didn't get what I wanted for Christmas. Michael chimed in with a tale about how I used to run to mom and dad for everything when we were kids. They framed these stories as examples of how I was always difficult and attention-seeking. None of it was true, but it was clear they were trying to sway public opinion in my parents' favor. After weeks of this, I decided to take control of the narrative. I logged onto Reddit and wrote a detailed post on one of the family drama subreddits. I laid everything out, from the years of neglect to the forgotten pickups, skipped graduation, and overhearing them claim they only had 2 kids. I included screenshots of texts and emails that showed their indifference and manipulation. I wasn't looking for sympathy, I just wanted the truth out there. The post blew up. Within hours, it was flooded with comments from people who had experienced similar family dynamics or were just horrified by what I'd been through. The thread quickly gained traction, and by the next day, it had thousands of upvotes. People were calling my parents' behavior textbook emotional neglect and praising me for breaking free. A few days later, someone from my hometown reached out. They were a freelance journalist who wanted to write about my story for a local newspaper.